Hi everyone, and welcome to the Introduction to Workplace Organisation, something that we call 5S. As we go through this session, we're going to introduce some of the key concepts and ideas behind this approach, this methodology, which is called 5S. It is around how do we organise our workplace and how do we design the environments that we choose to work within in order to optimise both performance, efficiency, and how do we kind of bring wastes and the kind of Tim Woods that we spoke about earlier to the surface as well. When we say workplace organisation, we also mean workplace design. And I think this is an important concept which is, very pertinent for today. It's how do we design our workplaces to maximise our own performance and our team's performance as well. So when you think about today versus maybe 6 months ago, we were all spending a lot more time working from home. And some of us have the luxury of having potentially an office to work within. Some of us are working from the kitchen, the bedrooms, the bathrooms, wherever you're working from. And the goal here is how do we design the workplace that we're going to make available to ourselves to maximize both our focus, our creativity, our productivity, whatever it is we need to focus on in order to deliver it. And these 5S tools, they've been made really, really famous, at least the first 2 or 3 of the S's have, by Kondo, who some of you may know from her next Netflix TV show, or maybe from her book, the art of tidying, or the life-changing magic of tidying up. I think it's called something like that, and I can post it below. But in that book, she became famous in Japan by helping people organize and tidy their houses. And her concept was that everything should have a place and you should only keep objects which spark joy because they add value to you. And the same is when we're looking at how we design our workplaces, is the fact that every object that we have around us should in some shape or form add value, either to what you're delivering to a customer, or potentially what you need in order to remind, to focus, to stay, on song with whatever task you've got ahead of you. So 5S is really quite a vast subject. It takes a long time to do correctly. But if we go through this, you begin to see some of the reasons why you think it can be so powerful within organizations. It looks initially very manufacturing, but honestly, it can be applied in manufacturing, in processing centers, in corporate offices, in service places, in restaurants, hospitals. All of these places really can benefit from 5S. So let's jump in and have a look. The first 5S that we kind of look at is what we call sort. Then we go to something called set. Then we go to something called shine, standardize, and sustain. These are the 5S, and there are Japanese versions available if you're interested. But let's have a little bit more detail as we go into them. So the first one, this sort, is we've got to separate unnecessary from necessary items. So this is the idea that you should only have items that you need around you. If items take space and you don't use them, then really they don't belong where they are. So first thing we've got to do is identify what is necessary, what is unnecessary, and remove the unnecessary. Set is designate a place for all necessary items. So this is the idea that you set them in place, that once you've identified the items that you need, you then find a home for them. You then find where you want to keep them, how you want to keep them. The next one is to shine. So this is often brought down to, we've got to keep it clean and tidy, but it's a little bit more than that. It's the fact that if you maintain that level of cleanliness, tidiness, then problems come to the surface, and it's much easier to identify things when they go potentially wrong because you've got this shine taking place. All of us want to work within clean, tidy environments as well. Standardize, well, this is how we manage and maintain performance. So this is how do we put those practices into a standardized way, as standard as possible, to make sure we maintain and keep them. And then the last one, the sustain, well, this is the most difficult. This is all about how do we implement and control and monitor to drive those optimal standards both now and in the future. So this is a quick introduction to 5S.